The new Battlestar Galactica series, currently in development and led by Sam Esmail, the executive producer of Mr. Robot and Homecoming, stands at a crossroads of legacy and innovation. Esmail and his creative team shoulder the heavy responsibility of honoring a franchise that began with Glen A Larson's original series and the reimagined version by Ronald D Moore. Esmail has given assurances that this new series will not be a reboot, repeatedly stating his respect and admiration for Moore's remake and not wanting to, quote, mess with perfection with this new addition to the BSG mythos. Notably, however, Esmail has never mentioned how the original series created by Glen A Larson will factor into his new show, if at all. In this video, I'd like to discuss the importance for Esmail's new BSG show to honor the original series if he wishes to follow in the footsteps of Ronald D Moore's success. Like any new attempt to expand upon a beloved and well-established mythology, there is a balance that must be struck between honoring the lore and legacy of the original IP, which devoted fans will support, while forging new compelling storylines and characters that also resonate with general audiences. Glen A Larson's original Battlestar Galactica premiered in 1978. The premise of the series focused on a far-flung corner of the universe, where a spacefaring civilization of humans have populated several planets collectively known as the 12 Colonies. A devastating surprise attack by the robot race of Cylons leaves the human populace on the verge of extinction. The Battlestar Galactica is one of the only surviving military vessels, which then leads the fleet of civilian ships on an epic odyssey across the stars to find the long-lost 13th tribe of humanity on Earth. On this journey to find a new home, they are pursued relentlessly by the Cylons, bent on the annihilation of the human race. The challenge that must be shouldered by Sam Esmail and the production team is how to honor the legacy of Larson's creation while charting its own unique course. The answer may lie in the rich lore and design that the original series offers. While it's considered by many to be campy, the original space opera's ship designs, heroes, villains, and the battle of man and machine in the fight for survival have since become iconic in the space of science fiction television. The 1978 Battlestar Galactica captivated audiences for its premise and pleasing blend of sci-fi action, humor, and heart. Other standout elements are the camaraderie between the protagonists and the overall positive aspiration of its characters, striving to live up to the best of what humanity had to offer. These are elements that fans would love to see incorporated into any new addition to the franchise. This is the foundation of what Battlestar Galactica is, and while Ronald D Moore took creative risks and liberties with the tone, premise, and characters in his reimagined story, his respect for the original series and its legacy was clearly evident. Moore accomplished something that eludes so many creatives today. Many feel that he set the standard of honoring what came before while crafting new compelling storylines that kept both fans and general audiences glued to the television each week. If Esmail truly holds deep respect for the reimagined series, he should also recognize the part the original show played in its success. It would therefore be wise of Esmail to consider the words of Moore himself. In a past interview with Wired.com, Moore was asked about his approach to starting a new series with all this material from the original that people already associated with BSG, to which he responded saying, quote, "I approached the original in the spirit of what we were going to make was going to be Battlestar Galactica. I wanted to keep the fundamentals of what the old show was about. The destruction of the human colonies, Galactica herself as an aircraft carrier in space, the ragtag civilian fleet, and the basics of the fundamental characters. But beyond that, I decided I would discard anything I didn't think worked, and add pieces to shore up sections that I thought were wobbly. I sort of went at it from a, okay, if it works, keep it in the show perspective. I felt very strongly if it was going to carry the name Battlestar Galactica, it should have a relationship to what the original was." It's clear that Moore's Battlestar Galactica was meant to be more than just a mere retelling. It was an homage that skillfully incorporated design elements and narrative threads from the original series, while striving to dive deeper into Glen A Larson's religious themes. Not only did Moore work to incorporate the fundamentals of the IP, but many fans also appreciated the casting of the original Apollo actor Richard Hatch as a recurring character with a significant contribution to the unfolding story. These creative decisions were not just a tip of the hat to the past, but also a statement of its connection and respect for the original source material. Ron Moore recognized that he couldn't make a Battlestar Galactica show without incorporating the fundamental elements that made it so beloved to so many. I personally appreciate his wording that a show carrying the Battlestar Galactica name should have a relationship to what the original was. While I appreciate Sam Esmail's respect for Moore's series, I feel it's vital to avoid the creative pitfall of merely recycling ideas, making a copy of a copy, as it were. This phenomenon has perhaps most notably been exemplified in the recent additions to the Star Wars franchise under Disney Lucasfilm, which have faced widespread criticism for their lack of originality. Instead of offering fresh, imaginative expansions, these new stories have often been perceived as uninspired rehashes that are returning to the well to tell largely derivative stories that lack the spirit of innovation that made the franchise so popular. For Esmail's Battlestar Galactica, it's crucial that the series carves its own unique narrative path, one that honors the foundational themes of the original works without falling into the trap of simply reiterating what has already been explored. The goal should be to infuse the beloved universe with new ideas, perspectives, and characters, ensuring that the legacy of Battlestar Galactica continues to evolve in a manner that is both respectful to its roots and excitingly fresh for the audience. In my opinion, the best way to handle the challenge of expanding this IP is to heavily feature and incorporate many of the design elements from Larson's original series, reimagining them in a way that aligns with his unique storytelling style while preserving the essence of Larson's vision. Many fans of Battlestar Galactica would love to see the return to tactile realism, especially when it comes to the dogfights between Vipers and Raiders. This raw, tangible quality where machinery feels greasy and gritty could add a layer of authenticity to the series. Similarly, when it comes to the Cylons, there's a persistent desire within the fandom to retain a hint of the original series' campiness by grounding it more in physicality with less reliance on CGI. The use of practical sets and effects could enhance this sense of realism, making the technology and characters within the show feel more tangible. This approach could not only pay homage to the original series' charm, but also provide a more immersive and visceral experience for the audience. Moreover, introducing character archetypes that echo the beloved figures from the original, leaders like Commander Adama, scoundrel warriors like Starbuck, and villains like Baltar, could provide a familiar anchor for the audience. When it comes to the actual storyline of this new show, Esmail's track record demonstrates his capability to weave complex narratives with rich character development. Applying this skill to the Battlestar Galactica universe, there's a lot of potential to delve deeper into the mythology, exploring themes like the nature of humanity, the sacrifices necessitated by survival, and the consequences of technological advancement. It is my hope, along with many others, that this new expansion will strike a balance between reflecting the original while broadening the mythos in a thrilling and innovative way. If handled well, this successful fusion would not only honor the legacy of Glen A Larson's original series, but also could usher in a dynamic new era of storytelling, leaving a lasting positive impact on the future of the franchise. But I'm curious to know what you feel is important for a new addition to the Battlestar Galactica Legendarium. Are there any particular elements from Glen A Larson's original series that are vital to carry over into a new show? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe for more Battlestar Galactica and other sci-fi and fantasy news and lore. And if you're looking for other ways to show your appreciation, you can check out my Patreon page, where members get access to exclusive content and perks. Thank you all so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.